Y'all. It's your boy, Rel Carter. Welcome to another edition of the Dusse Friday podcast. Got my man B. Axelrod in the building.
Yep.
Dusse Nay for some reason.
I don't know why.
Yes.
And then we have a special guest.
A very, 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 very
special guest.
Yeah.
Miss Gloria Carter.
Welcome.
My grandmother. Yes.
That's
She's
pretty
here.
big.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
How did this get pulled off? How did we make this happen? I know we're big podcast stars, but this is a pretty big one.
You know, we were in the kitchen one day just discussing the Rap Radar podcast, right?
Oh yes, the Rap Radar podcast.
Yeah.
The
interview
that we did not get.
Yeah. So we was thinking like we need something that can top it.
I remember going through the
There
list.
was only 3 places to go.
Yes, go ahead. Go. You can name them.
Beyonce, Blue, or Grandma.
Miss Gloria Carter.
We chose Graham.
Yes.
Blue would have been a little
The one
tough.
that started
Blue would have
it
been
all.
a tough interview.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Who's this?
Dusse Nay.
Oh boy, he's already starting with questions. Here
Is
we
it
go.
okay if I call you Miss C?
Sure.
Thank you. That's all I want to know.
That was the question?
That was a
Yes.
question. All right,
Yes.
you cut his microphone off now.
So you didn't have a question about anything else?
No, I have a lot of questions, but I want to get familiar, be real.
Yeah, but it's not like you guys don't know each other. What do you call?
But I have to be professional today. No Dusse Nay. Water
Hold
Nation.
on. What's in your cup?
Nothing. I'm drinking water, guys. All water.
So this is professional. So you're professional now.
I'm professional and I'm shaking. I keep moving.
You okay?
I'm so proud of you.
He's having withdrawals. That's all that is.
Let's see. We're probably going to be on for at least over an hour. So you think you can?
I'm willing to
hold it
go.
together?
Let's go.
All right. Go ahead, Brian.
Don't you ever want to go and start? I know you have some notes over there.
Yes, I have. I have
So start
notes.
with the question.
Okay, Miss C. My first question was, how was it growing up or raising 4 children and Marcy Projects after your husband left you?
It was relatively hard because in the beginning we were a family. Our intentions when we moved to the projects was to move there to save money so that we could buy a home. But doing life progressions, stuff happens, and I ended up raising my kids by myself. It was hard, but I had I gave my kids a good sense of morals, and I kept it real with them. I told them what their job was, and I did my job. So I just did what I had to do. After 30 years, I was an investment analyst, investing billions of dollars for the city of New York.
God, I'm sure. So I'm sure we'll get into it, but I'm sure that experience back then will translate into what we're doing, what you guys are doing today. So obviously the whole thing with Jay being somewhat famous, you have a somewhat famous son. How did the progression of him coming up, and when did you see he had some amazing talent, and like you might be onto something with this rap game?
Well, when he first started out, he was just doing, different little showings in the streets and, rap competition and stuff like that. And then he met, what's the guy's name?
Jazz? Or
Jazz.
Big Daddy Kane?
It was Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
It was Jazz. He met Jazz before he went with Big Daddy Kane. And what happened with that, he was able to get exposure with that. And then he did the Apollo. He came in second at the Apollo. I still have the award because he was like the only reason why.
Still.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
He said the only reason why I didn't win is because I didn't have enough people clapping for me. So, excuse me, because that's what it's about. The audience.
The audience
Right.
participation, yeah.
So, but
So it could have been like a popularity contest a little bit, not
Yes.
so much talent.
yes.
Now, did you ever just try to persuade him away from that path, or were you like, all right, I see it?
No, never tried to persuade him. What I did was, he would be at the table. He'd be at the table, boom, 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 and the kids would be like, "Oh, Ma, this kid needs to go to bed. Can you tell him to go to bed?" So I actually purchased him a boombox, actually to try to keep him close to me.
Yep.
And then with that, it became even more intense because like now it's like he has that and he's in the kitchen on the table. So it became like I would have to go and say, look, it's time for you to, it's time for you to go to bed. So.
And I'm assuming you had a lot of support through the community. That's like, obviously, I'm not from the Marcy Projects.
You are not.
I'm not. I'm from a nice little suburb in New Jersey. But you hear, I'm like always where the community, helps you get through because obviously raising 4 kids on your own is not so easy. So do you want to tell us a little about that?
It takes a family to raise.
I've heard that before.
It really takes a village. But we're a very close knit family.
And
So my family helped a lot.
And if you ever walk around the Rock Nation office, you see that family living today, breathing in this office because everywhere you turn, there's a family member. And when you work here, they bring you in and treat you like a family. So I can see how that translates into the business world as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Yes.
As you speak about family and community, there's this guy that's supposed to be on this show named Memphis Bleak, right?
Yeah, word.
So you pretty much seen him as a young guy, lived in the same building. What was he like as a young kid?
Believe it or not, Memphis Bleak was a nice, quiet, well-mannered kid.
We're talking about Memphis Bleak. I don't know if you heard us.
Yes,
Memphis Bleak.
Yes, and that's who he was. And as far as I know, whenever I see him, he still gives me that same behavior. So I don't know him any other way.
Yep.
All right.
No, because he's out. He's actually, believe it or not on some.
He's not on vacation.
On vacation, he's actually working.
Supposedly
doing some warehouse music stuff. Now, have you gone? Now, do you go back? Do you do stuff or go back? Return to Marcy?
Yes, I just did a basketball tournament Saturday in the Marcy Projects. Right, we had 10 teams, and I've been doing this now in the Marcy Projects for 3 years. But this year we actually had 2 girl teams. And they were amazing. Really? They play harder than the guys. So they were amazing. So we actually, we partnered with this foundation called Tyrone Baldy, and then my foundation, Shawn Carter Scholarship Foundation. Okay. We partnered with them, and we gave this cookout from 12 to 5. The actual event went from 12 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But we did a barbecue, and they played ball, and after that, we gave them basketballs. We gave them backpacks with school supplies. We gave them Rock Nation's hats, and the kids were very appreciative.
I say they gotta love it. Like I've seen adults get Rock Nation hats, and they go crazy. So I can imagine like a kid getting anything, but like that hat goes a long way. But the package and that whole thing, they gotta be appreciative of it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. And then, so that talk. Oh, you mentioned the Shawn Carter Foundation. So you want to walk us through what that's all about, how it got started, and what you're doing now?
I was going to ask that.
I stole your thunder,
pretty good
man.
At this.
Sure. Well, when I retired from my job, that my kids forced me to retire from.
They forced you.
Yeah, because as my son was blowing up, it was like I never told anybody who my son was. So I would go to work at my place of work. So I would go to work, and of course I'm a very social person, so I know a lot of people, and I never told any of them who I was. So my son wanted me to come and do an interview, and I was like, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to do this, because I already know before it happens. I already knew it was going to happen, but he's like, come on, you got to do this interview. So I said, okay, I did the interview. And the next day I walk into my job, and the security guard, the podium is in the middle, their little office. So I walked there, he's like, yo, how you don't tell me you Jay-Z's mama?
Oh, she found out.
So I was like, yo, I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be protecting people. How you going to do this to me? So it started from there. So then now everybody finds out that I work here. And like, now my daughter has to call me because we ride back home together. And she's like, go out the back door. There's people outside wanting to meet you. And I was like, so it became a problem.
Now, all right, I might even be a little naive, but is it also a security issue, like a security problem? Because back then, obviously, Jay, like the rap game then was a lot different than his involvement in now. And so it's a blowing up issue, obviously being famous. But was there a security issue as well, or no?
Well, the thing is that when you're connected to a celebrity, it's a gift and a curse, because there's people that don't actually mean to hurt you, But if people start pushing up on you and bum rushing you, you can actually get hurt.
Correct.
So it became a problem for me to leave work. But my dedication to my job, plus I was like, I can't leave yet, man. My time ain't in. So so I don't want to lose my benefits, but my kids called a conference on me, quote unquote, and today, and like my son was like, it's time for you to leave, and I'm like, but if I leave, I'll do this and I do that. So, they kind of like, okay, you don't have to do this no more. So
gotcha. And then how long from then to that point did you get involved with like foundations and philanthropy, which you're now known for?
So after being unemployed for a year, I became bored. So I went to this young man who I mentored because I didn't even realize I was a mentor. And this young guy, he's 15 years old, his name was Isaiah Brown. And he was an intern on the job. And one day he was at the desk sleeping. And I just took him in the hallway and I was like, yo, listen, you don't never let anybody on your job see you sleep. If you need to take a nap, you need to walk away from your desk. Yeah. I said, because they can't monitor the time that you have to go to the bathroom. But you don't allow them to do this. You don't allow them to see this.
I would see that, yep.
So, so then he would start coming over in my section and then I would start showing him stuff on the computer because like I said, I started off as a file clerk and I worked my way up to be an investment analyst. So I started sharing my information with him. And he graduated from Bronx College. And he invited me to his graduation and I went and he was on the stage and he was talking about this woman, his other mother who, who's in his life and made him become part of the man he is. And he was talking about me. Wow, and I didn't even realize that how much I had touched his life. I was just being you. I was just being me. I was just helping someone. So with that kind of like is like, okay, you're helping people and you don't even know. So this has to be a kind of like a gift. So what I did was when my son came, I said, we need to do something. So he's like, so what do you want to do, Ma? I was like, we need to give back to the community. I said, because seriously, when you think about it, you can't be concerned about what nobody else doesn't do. Mm-hmm. You can only be responsible for what you do. So we started the foundation.
And right there, you knew how you wanted to help. So tell us a little about the foundation and what you guys do, and then we'll get into that.
Okay. The majority of the foundations that's out here, they address children who has 3.0s and better. But you have so many young kids that have a desire to be all that they can be. And they can't get any help. The kids that got a 1.9,
right, so
I have a desire. It's like no one really wants to address them. So I decided that my foundation would address these kids that have a desire to go to school. So that's what we do. We get young kids that have a desire to go to school in school. We get them in college. We get them through college, and we assist them while they're in college. And as we grow, we get bigger. We've partnered with a lot of people to help us be all that we can be.
So it's not just getting them into school. You're on your own. You stay with them throughout the process.
Yeah, we have mentor programs, everything. We even have a abroad program. We send people abroad. We just, as we grow, we take on a whole lot of other things. And the problem that we have with the foundation is that because it has my son's name, people forget that it's a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. So they automatically think, oh, wow, we don't want to get them no money. They got this money. But, the foundation needs money to exist. Any nonprofit.
That's an interesting take, right? So it's like Jay-Z has all this money. He's his number. You listen, the money he makes is all over the news, right, or whatever it is. So they assume, okay, he has money, just he can pay, or where's the money going, type of thing. But this money's going. That's
the assumption. That's what they believe.
Right.
But if you look at if you look at any nonprofit organization, right, anybody that establishes it can only give it a certain amount of money per year. IRS.
Which people don't know.
But okay, well now they know it because I'm
Right.
telling them this.
That's why we're here.
I told you, she's very intellectual.
So it's like it's very hard. It's very hard. And when people start focusing on other stuff around it as opposed to focusing on the children that benefit from this, we have children that didn't even have a clue that they were college material. Because and we also take them on bus tours. So we take them on bus tours to introduce them to historical black colleges. You have children that have never left Brooklyn. So now you're taking them to historical black colleges, and now they're getting a feel for a college. You take them to the dorms. We walk the grounds with them. We let them talk to the students. So then you have children that experience this and come back and say, I'm not only going to college, I'm going to finish college. And you have them do it. So for me, that's my reward. I have kids that I talk to on the phone that I've gotten in school. And when I talk to them, because, they have to reapply for the money each year. Okay. And I call them up and I'll be like, listen, you've been in school. Why do I have to call you? And they be like, okay, Ma, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then there's one kid, I'll never forget him. His name was William. He'd be on the phone. He'd be like, Ma, the next time you see me, you can beat me. I don't want to beat you. I just want you to do what you're supposed to do. But he graduated.
He did graduate.
Yes.
That's great.
And how many kids a year are you doing this for? And
right now we have 142 reapplies.
Wow.
This year. And then with the budget going up and down, our newbies, that's what we call them. Our newbies go up and they go down. But right now we have 142.
So that number is fair to say that number is kind of generated by the funds that are coming in.
Yes.
So ideally, the more money come in, the more kids you can put to school.
Yes, Brian. It's usually how it works.
I'm pretty. Listen, I did not have a 3.0 or 4.0, so I was lucky that I had some.
So you're the ones that would have been on a scholarship fund.
I was not. I was lucky that I was. My parents had a little bit of money and we did okay, but I would have probably qualified if not. I would have been in that 2.0 range.
So aside from the Shawn Carter Foundation, you also were able to do one of your lifelong dreams of opening a lounge.
Yes. I opened up Diamonds in the Rough 2 years ago in Newark. And everybody asks me, why Newark? Because I see Newark as, and the reason the name came up, the Diamond in the Rough, is because I see Newark as a place of, like Brooklyn when I lived in it, before regentrification, as they started building up, and then it become not affordable to the people that lived in the community. So Diamonds in the Rough, everybody talks about how bad Newark is, but I see the potential in Newark as well. It's going through changes right now. Once you start realizing when you have Whole Foods start coming into the community and those kind of stores, you know that the community is getting ready to change. So that's what's happening in Newark right now.
It's been open for how long?
2.5 years.
So
it's fun.
Yeah,
have you ever been?
Karaoke night on Fridays.
I'm embarrassed to say it. I've not been, but I have seen a lot of activities and I've heard a lot about it.
Just like the Carter Boy parties you heard a lot about, but you never attended, right?
This is not about me
I'm just
today.
saying.
This is not about me today.
All right, moving on.
No, we can stick with that because we can stick with Diamonds in a Rough because we should give us a bit of buzz. But
moving on.
Yes.
For you.
Yeah.
So back with Diamonds in a Rough, as you know, it's not easy to have like the restaurant life. The first year is it's either make or break. Now, you kind of got past that. So what was like? How'd that go?
I have two partners that also had the same dream. But like you said, the food industry is very hard. But I was warned before I even did it because my son was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, yeah, but you know what?
He's been in that business before.
I was like, but this is my dream. So, whether it works or whether it doesn't, I have to fulfill my dream. And, we have our moments, but we're still there. And, we're getting ready to revamp. And because, like in the summer, any food industry doesn't do very well because everybody's out at cookouts on the beach. They're hanging out. They don't want to be indoors. So we have our moments where you have bad, and then it gets better. It turns over as the weather starts to change. Then it starts getting better.
Well, you said it was a dream. So now, when your dream somewhat came through, because you opened it up. Now, was it everything you expected? Is it more, or do you have like a dream of opening Diamond Roughs, around the country? How's that working?
It's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, yes.
It's a lot of work, and you have to be dedicated. So as far as me realizing my dream, I realized my dream.
Well, it opened.
It opened.
And it's still open.
And it's still open. So I realized my dream. So at this point, up or down, I'm at a good place.
Any other dreams that we're looking to fulfill, or?
Well, so as you get older,
Oh, I know.
things that that people may seem more important. For me, the reality for me is every day, and I start my day like this every day. Every day that I'm able to open my eyes and I'm mobile, I'm blessed. So because the realization is that you could wake up and not be able to move. You could wake up, but so when I wake up and I'm mobile, right? The first thing I woke up, I'm mobile. And then you can wake up and not be in your right mind. And I'm in my right mind. I already start the day with 3 blessings. So anything that comes my way is gravy. I can handle it. So that's my thought every day.
I remember you told me that in the kitchen.
What?
She told me that same thing in the kitchen.
Was that after you did something bad? When you were talking to?
No, we have conversations, okay, Brian? The world shall never know.
We did learn before the podcast that you guys have some very deep conversations, the two of you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not Dusse Nate.
He does. You might have to have a couple more with him.
Well, everybody needs somebody to talk to. So,
I agree. And that's why even this podcast has been great. We get to talk to each other.
Pretty fun.
Wait. So you're gonna. Good thing I looked at my notes. So you're doing. So back to the foundation for a second. So coming up is Made in America in Philadelphia.
Yes.
It's what, year 6? 6, I think, right?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, I've been 5. Is year 6. So the foundation will be doing stuff at Made in America, correct?
Yes, we have a booth in Made in America where we raise funds for the foundation.
So anyone's there, they can visit there's a section or booth, right? You have a setup there, and they can donate.
Yes, they can donate. We have basketball hoops. They can shoot basketball hoops. They can hula hoop. We have all kinds of little things that we have word games that they can play. So, and in the course of doing that, they donate and it goes to the children who want to.
They can come say hi.
Of course.
Give you a hug,
They can come say hi to me.
Where are you gonna be?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I might even perform. I'm just saying.
Perform what?
Spoiler.
Wait, you got a gig?
Huh?
You got a DJ gig?
No, I'm a rapper for Made in America. I got a couple bars.
You've been drinking too much Tuesday.
Nah. So speaking of rapping, your son just came out with an amazing album that everyone loves, 444. How do you feel about the album?
I think that's an amazing album because it shows my son growth.
That's the second album. You make an appearance on the album.
Yes, I do.
Your second appearance, right? You made an appearance.
Yes,
on the Black album.
Yes.
And then this appearance has gotten you a little bit of press.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Because I've always had press, even when I didn't want it.
Right,
so
fair. Good point.
So
the foundation gets press.
So like I said before, the thing about being attached to my son is that he from the door he says, "Ma, it's a gift and a curse," because it doesn't matter what you do. I gotta turn this off. It doesn't matter what you do, or who you are, celebrity or not. You're always going to have haters in the world.
This is true.
Good or bad or indifferent. Mm-hmm. But what you have to do is you have to look at it like this. I take it like this. My haters are my motivators. So you know what I do for my haters? I do things that make them hate me. Not in a negative way. I do positive things. So they'd be like, wow. So instead of saying like, wow, she did a good thing, they'd be like, oh, shucks. So if you motivate me when you come at me.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Okay.
So the song that you're featured on is entitled Smile.
Yes.
So how did you feel the first time you heard that song?
Okay. The first time I heard that song, I was like, no. Well, let me tell you how the song came about. Because me and my sons, we share a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting there and I was telling him one day, I just finally started telling him who I was. Besides your mother, this is the person that I am. You know, this is the life that I lived. So my son started actually like tearing because he was like, that had to be a horrible life, Ma. And I was like, my life was never horrible. It was just different. You know, so that made him want to do a song about it. And the first time I heard the song, I was like, no, dude, I ain't feeling that.
Now, you were not feeling it because you just didn't want that story told, or you just, talk us through that? Because
when it first happened, I was sharing myself with you, not to share myself with the world.
Got it.
You know, so I was like, I don't know whether I'm ready for that. And we talked about it, and then I was going out to see him, and I was on the plane. I was like, okay, I'm gonna help him. Since we're gonna do this, I'm gonna help him. So I wrote that while I was on the plane going to L.A.
The poem part,
you actually wrote that.
I wrote that.
Maya Angelou. That's what I'm talking about.
I wrote that on the plane. So when I got there, I was like, yo, I'm gonna help you along. So I gave him this. I said, look at this. So he was like, wow, you wrote this on the plane? So I said, yeah. So he said, so start reading it. So I started reading it, and he was taping me.
Really?
He was taping me as I was.
So you didn't go in the studio to tape that part?
No, I taped on the phone.
Technology.
Technology.
I think he was probably like, just
that's
in
a
case.
real. That's a real one. Yeah, that's a real one.
So like we were talking back and forth about it, but in reality, it's like the reason I call it living in the shadows is because, and I say people see me as I want them to see me. It's like I was never ashamed of me, but like my family, it was something that was never discussed because everybody knows who I am. I don't hide who I am. Mm-hmm. But what I felt is that because of my association, people was being accused of being my mate.
Yeah,
that wasn't. So it was hurting other families. You have to when you have a woman that has to go tell her children that this is on the website and it's going to be on the website for forever.
Yeah.
Right. And you can be just walking down the street with a friend and all of a sudden that's your
right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fair to them. And it's not fair for anyone to know my personal business. Mm-hmm. Because who I share my life with is no one's business. Yep. No one else has to discuss their life. Why should I? But why should you have to bring someone else that's not a part of that
into it?
So I was like, you know what? So I'm tired of all the mystery. I'm going to give it to him. So I don't have to worry about nobody wondering whether I'm in the life or not. I'm going to tell them. Mm-hmm. So now that I told you, now what do you have to talk about?
Nothing at all.
So now maybe you can focus on the phenomenal things I do.
And the goodness, all the good that you bring
that people really didn't
to this community.
So focus on that. Because that part of your life is a small part of your life. Heterosexuals don't walk around the street talking about blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So why does someone that's in the life have to do that? It's not fair.
Now, was this something that you were keeping from, obviously, the outside world? Was it something keeping from the family, too? Or the family.
The family, no, they never discussed it.
So they were keeping your secret.
It was something that was never discussed. So, at some point in your life, I'm an OG.
We look in our family. We look at everybody for everybody.
So now it's time for me to live my life and be happy, be free. Just stop all the nonsense.
Well, you say it's time to be free. So do you feel different? Do you feel free?
Well, no, because I was always me.
Mm-hmm.
It was always me. But the thing about me doing that is, again, I affect so many people's lives. I got so many people that's calling me, like saying thank you because you're me. This is the life I live, and I'm like, I didn't realize the impact of what I was going to do. And a lot of times I don't realize the impact of what I'm going to do to people until it happens. So I had a lot of impacts. I got a lot of calls. I got a lot of support. I got people wanting me to come do speaking engagements. And at this point, I'm not, believe it or not, I'm here and I'm talking and I'm doing this for my grandson. I'm doing this for my family. but I'm, believe it or not, I'm shy. People wouldn't believe that, but I am.
Right.
So
People that know me, they know it though.
So I think the best part about this whole thing is the fact that it just allowed so many other people to be free.
Yes.
Because I've seen people in like tweets and people tweet me and at me or stuff and be like, wow, Jay-Z mom is just like me. It took her to come out. Because, you know, when you live in the life of your son being who he is, they don't look at him and his family as normal people. So they figure like, there's no way that this person could be like me.
Yep.
So for them to see Jay-Z's mom is this way, it allows them to be like, wow. Because I've had so many conversations with people, and they be like, wow, that song really allowed me to be myself. So I feel like that was a great thing for people, because a lot of people who are trapped don't think that they can, you know, come out per se, because they feel like it's so much judgmental things to be said about them.
True.
But that song also it helps everyone come out, period. Anything in all forms of life. Not only in the aspect of the gay and lesbian community, but as a human being as a whole, you know?
Yeah, for people to just not care about anybody else's
It's
thoughts
actually,
about you.
But it's almost like anyone having what's called a secret. So it's not just about that. You know, for the community.
Exactly.
It could be anything. People like, you know, especially now you see kids with bullying and stuff. You know, it's a crazy world out there, and a lot of people are scared of the backlash. Like you said, there's a lot of hate out there.
Yes.
And it's easy now. Now with social media, it's almost easy to get to anyone, whether it's
That's
a
true.
kid in school on like Instagram or Facebook. So it's much easier for that hate to get to the person and hear it. So I think it's not about just that. I think it's really about letting it go and saying it's okay to be me.
Yeah, it is.
But I think there has been a lot, like you mentioned, there was a lot of, have you felt the support, right?
Yes. You know, I'm glad that I touched people, and I'm glad that they feel comfortable enough to acknowledge themselves. But I was acknowledging me. You know, I did it for me, and in the course of doing it for me, I'm glad that I touched so many people's lives, because it's time. It's time for everyone to live their life, because at the end of the day, the way this world is today, tomorrow's not promised to none of us.
Mm-hmm.
No one.
Yeah.
So why would you want to keep yourself locked up and not be able to? Because like you realize this too, when you live a certain way, it hinders your growth. So you get to certain levels and then you're stuck. And then you wonder why you're stuck, because you're in a position that you're not moving forward, because you have other baggage. You have to free yourself up so that you can climb that ladder and be all that you can be. The potential, if you have that potential and you had that passion, you can move forward. You know, sometimes everybody needs a little boost to get to where they need to go.
Did you find that it had like a negative impact or made some past relationships like tough and hard? Did you see it affecting like past relationships, or?
Nah, my friends love me for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, all the relationships, all the people that's in my life are still in my life.
But I'm saying like with other partners and stuff, because, you know, obviously.
Not at all.
That was good. All right, cool.
Not at all.
And then I think some of the support, going back to the support, so like the GLAAD president came out with out in the press and Twitter, like, and literally just acknowledged like what an amazing thing you did and how it's going to help so many people. So that's going back to the point of you did it for you, but the impact you're going to have on so many people is it's powerful. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And Jay came out and he said that it was one of his proudest songs. So that's a quote. That's his quote. He said one of my proudest songs.
You know, my son is an amazing man. He is he is not only my baby boy, but we have these extraordinary, amazing conversations, and he has so much knowledge, you know. And I often say to him, like, "How did you get so smart?" And he says, "Because you're my mother."
There you go. So that brings it back to the early days.
So he's an amazing, and let me not forget the rest of my children.
Yeah, don't forget them.
Oh, no.
They'll curse everyone.
I'm actually surprised one hasn't made an appearance. She always likes to,
Yeah.
she likes
Let
to
me
pop
not-
in on these
Surprised
things.
she didn't pop up.
Listen, for me, I just always believe that the Father has blessed me because I have 4 amazing children who truly love their mother unconditionally, who still think that they are the boss of me and can run my life because my kids say I have this. They say that, like you're just so nice, Ma, that they always feel that someone's going to take advantage of me. But if they know their mother, they know that she's not going to let anybody take advantage of her. But, children protect their parents, and that's what they do.
Yeah, because we're the same way. We're the boss of our parents. So it was just passed down from generation to generation.
So you're the boss of your mom?
For sure.
He think he
You
is.
think I agree.
But see, it's a tone. You let them get away, and you let them get away, so they be like,
Passion.
But when they hear that tone, because children know the tone that their mother have when, stop playing with her, she ain't messing with you now. So when they hear that tone, then they become your children again.
They know it gets about to get serious. Like,
Yeah, I mean, here I am. I'm an old, matured woman, and there's a certain tone that my mother says and uses that I actually feel like I'm a kid again. Once she get that tone, I just sit back in the chair and relax, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going there no more.
Yeah,
So,
my mother
yes,
makes me feel like a kid when she wants to call me Jarelli.
Yeah.
Feel like a kid. Especially when she says it around the office, like, for real. So now the people here think it's okay. I don't think it's okay.
I'm going to take notes. I'm
So-
going to write this down because in case I forget.
So being that Smile is one of his, I feel like one of his greatest songs today. Do you have one of your favorite songs or lines from him aside from Smile?
On 444?
No, in general. Like that one song you hear, you just be like, ooh, this my ish.
Well, I just like a lot of different songs. So let me see. Oh, there was one, I can't even think of the name. See, this is what happens when you start getting mature.
If you say a line from it, I could definitely tell you what song it is.
You want her to just drop a line?
She got bars.
Oh, I believe it.
If I give you a line, the one, I already know the name. Song Cry. Song Cry is one of my favorite songs.
Song.
And then, of course, you got Can't Knock the Hustle,
Now it's back. Now it's starting to
That
flow.
was a joke.
So I want to bring you down to memory lane.
Okay.
3 years ago, you went to Cuba, and I spoke to you about that trip. I just want you to just tell the people who's listening to the podcast how that really felt, because people don't really travel, and they don't really understand what's really going on in the world. So I would like to hear your experience to them, you telling the experience to them.
For me, in Cuba, the food was amazing. But for me, the amazing thing was walking down the street, and in front of you is the capital. But you actually have, because there's no homelessness in Cuba. So the people, the houses is here, and the capital's in front of you, and their laundry is hanging outside the window, blowing in the wind, right in front of the Capitol. But I learned so much while I was there. There's so many things that I didn't know. You have free education. You have free health care. The golf course that we seen a picture of, with Castro smoking a cigar. I never knew that he took that golf course and turned it into a school, and kids actually go there for free.
So you saw stuff that they don't put out in the
Yes.
media and tell the world about it.
Yes.
And just to put it out there, that trip was before everyone was allowed to go
Yes.
back in and take trips to Cuba.
Yes.
That's cool and all. Whatever.
You're not feeling.
How was it? What?
You're not feeling his question?
No. It's cool. It was cool. How was it meeting Nelson Mandela?
That's a good question.
It's
better than his question, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm
So
a podcaster.
meeting Mandela was, the feeling, I can't explain the feeling, but it had gotten to the point I'm looking at Nelson Mandela, and my heart is beating, and I had to go over to my son, and I was like, "Yo, Jay, I'm having heart palpitations." I was like, "I'm just to be in his presence," and Jay's like, "Ma, you better not have a heart attack."
Not today. Don't do it. Not today.
But it was that's another experience. Was that?
How about the experience when you met Obama?
Oh yeah, that was amazing because to me going to Africa, and I went there we went there to build water lines for the people and put toilets in place for the people in Africa that didn't have these things, and it was just a feeling of, wow, this is so amazing, and we're doing amazing things, and I'm a rebel kind of sorta. So I actually went to this place where they had like people living here, and then they had this place called like Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually ran the lines across the people's property to give this people this gorgeous place while you have the people over here living in poverty.
And it was like close, like
Yes, like right across the street, and no one sabotaged the lines. And they were on top of the ground.
They respected it.
So I'm like, wow, I probably would have been in jail.
I'm gonna attempt this.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But hey, I mean, this is just real. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you how I felt. It was a beautiful trip. It was amazing, and for me, it humbled me because I used to have a problem with people talking about us spoiled Americans. I was like, spoiled? There's nothing spoiled about me. I get up and I go to work every day to take care of my family. So that, so when I would hear people say that, I would instantly be like, yo, for real? So what happened was being there and seeing how wasteful we are. We are wasteful Americans.
Because I can see where you're going. And how so?
We go in the faucet and we turn on the water and we just let it run. And you have people here who don't have water.
So simple thing like water.
Yes. I mean, and you need water to live. We have refrigeration. These people have their stores on boxes, and they put their meat out there and it's in the sun, and you have these animals running around, and we are truly spoiled. We take everything for granted. We're not concerned with looking at what we have. We always look at what we don't have and look at what somebody else has. You can't live off of what anybody else have. You have to be concerned with what you have, and you have to be grateful for it. Because every day we come home, we have a key that we can put in the door, and everything that you have in that home, you purchased.
Yeah.
But people take it for granted. So for me, it humbled me. It humbled me. So I'm appreciative of anything that I have. I can't be mad at the other man, because here you have the opportunity to get anything you want. Mm-hmm. You just have to work for it.
Where them a simple thing is a hot shower would be life-changing. Yes.
But they're appreciative and they're very happy people.
I was about to say,
but so you have to
hear like this. Yeah. You would think they're living their life.
Yeah, but that's where they come from. So that's what they know. And the people are nice. The people are very well mannered. The children are very happy. Everybody's walking around being happy, but
I think that
it's
comes
a humbling experience.
Yeah, relating to here in the back at home, that's where parenting and upbringing probably can come in and can be better, whether it's education and teaching and showing people that this exists. It's not everyone has the stuff that we're all offered, like electricity.
Yes, true.
Running water.
True. Showers. So, they shower in the yard. They shower in the yard. They come out with buckets and they pump it, and then they drench themselves in the water.
So you took some of them learning. I'm assuming you took some of those learnings from that trip and probably a bunch of other trips that
Yes.
you've been on, and then apply it to.
Yes, it changed me. You know, so in the course of it's changing me, of course, I share this information with people. So I talk with family members. I talk with close friends. We have these discussions, and I share this information with people. So, but it's a life-changing experience, and if anybody can afford it, and if it's something that they want to do, then I think that they should.
Did you take anything? I'm assuming you had a conversation with Nelson Mandela. So, is there anything out of that meeting that you remember that was like?
Yeah. Nelson Mandela is he was a very smart man. You know, he didn't say much, but the things that he said, you know, it sticks with you. You know, I was there with my family, with J and B and a group of other people, and it was just, you know, I was sitting there like a bump on a log, just glad to be in his presence. You know, I didn't want to say too much.
Well, you just want to take it all
I just wanted to be there and just like be a part of it.
Unlike Dusse, who wants to just jump in all the time.
Right. So with that being said, what is one of the greatest lessons that you've learned to date, or any kind of advice you can give people?
The advice that I would give people is, if you have a passion, well, the thing about passion is that a man that has a true passion, you can't shut him up. It's like, some people be like, I think I want to do it. And then you have the person that has the passion. So how you separate them for is, if the person that you talk to think they want to do it, they're like, oh, well, I think I want to do this and I think I want to do that. But if you talk to the man with the passion, say, what is it that you want to do? He talks to the point you be saying like, wow, I should have never asked this dude the question, because that's his passion. And if you have a passion, you can accomplish it. You just have to work hard to get it done. And the truth of the matter is, it's not going to be easy, because what people have to learn in life is that you fall down. Everybody's supposed to fall down. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get up. Because falling down actually teaches you how to get up. So that's all a part of the progression of life, and moving on and being stuck. You know, you get stuck. And this is just in my opinion. The reason people get stuck is you're supposed to learn the lesson. You're stuck because you haven't learned the lesson. And if you keep repeating the things that get you stuck, you're going to stay stuck.
That makes sense.
You have to learn the lesson and you have to move forward. And that's the progression of life. You just keep moving up and up and up until you reach the things that you desire, reach the things that you were here for.
No, that makes sense, because hitting on the fall down part, a lot of people will start focusing on the negatives of falling down, complain about falling down, blame others for falling down, whereas, like, to what you just said, take it, look at it, figure out what happened, and then learn from it, and then make yourself a better the situation, right?
Yes.
That's pretty good.
You are pretty good.
I
pretty
like
good.
that. I'm impressed. I can go home now.
So, you know, you're all about, so a lot of people don't know, you're all about family and love and the community. You know, so, you know, in lieu of the tragic events in Charlottesville, how do you think, or what do you think the next steps would be to healing a community like that, or any community going through the same thing?
I think that people, anybody that can possibly get a group of their friends, family members, whatever, I think what they need to do is they need to pull stuff together and send it there, and make sure that who they sending it to, give it to the people. Because Katrina, I was there. My foundation went there. We gave out stuff in Katrina. I am a person, a disaster for Sandy. Sandy took out my home.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so anything that you can give these people, I think that friends, and I know, like, listen, everybody has friends, and it really doesn't take much, because every little thing counts. So if you could just get...
they're in for a long haul. And the
yes,
people in Houston are not... This is not a week thing, a month thing.
Oh, no, they're going to need something.
They're going to be this is going to be work. They're going to be fixing this situation
for a long time. And they're going to need stuff when they're not on the news.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was getting at.
Yeah,
they're going to need stuff when they're not on the news.
We live in our news situation now is about, unfortunately, it's about these glorious events, whether, they're right or, for tragedies or, stuff like what's going on in Houston, and then something can happen next week, and they're on to the next thing.
Right.
But the people that are living in that town, and we saw that with Katrina.
Yes.
And we seen it with the Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
With the water
it's
still
Sandy.
going on.
This is not just going to go away if the news is not talking about it. Those people will still be in that town. People lost, you mentioned about losing homes. Some people lost
lives.
Yes.
Lives.
Everything.
Family members, or literally every single thing that they own to their property. So yeah, it's a great message. Just if you can do anything, but keep doing this. Don't
No, just because it's not in the paper, don't mean that you shouldn't send something.
If it's true, right? If you really believe it.
Oh yeah,
if you have people that really believe stuff, and you have people who just do it, like you say, for the news. It makes them look good.
Yeah, but though
yeah.
Just do it.
Just
you can't
do
judge
it.
if they want. Yeah,
people
do it.
Let them do it for the news as long as they're doing it.
You can't
let them do it.
You can't make anybody do anything. And the truth about it is, when you do something from the heart, you do it from the heart. You look for nothing in return.
Exactly.
But what you do is when you see that I gave, because see, people have this thing is like, I ain't gonna get this to him. I ain't gonna get that to him. Blah 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 blah. But think about it like this: working class people is basically one check from being homeless themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss one paycheck, your bills is messed up. So once you get behind the eight ball, it's hard to come back. It takes time. So what you have to do is you give what you can give with a pure heart and look for nothing in return. So when you see a homeless man on the street, I have friends that I'd be like, they'd be like, I gave this guy money because of you. I said, yo, don't do it because of me. I said, be real about it. I said, because at the end of the day, whatever you put in that man's hand, it's no longer yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's his to do whatever he wants. So if you feel some kind of way about it, then don't do it. Don't blame me. I'm just telling you. This is the reality. I mean, you think that everybody in the street is somebody that's not educated? It's people that's just went through hard times, lost their job, end up being there. And yeah, of course, also you have other types of people in the streets too.
Yeah.
But that could happen to anybody. So you always have to just be mindful. You want the same thing for your children that I want for mine. And this young man that's taking me that he wants for his, if he have any children.
I have no children right now.
Okay, but
I mean,
right now.
I just want to thank any ladies listening right now. I have no.
I don't mean to get you in trouble, Brian.
He's been getting in trouble for the past.
Too many happy endings, Brian.
But I would love for everybody to just live in harmony in a world where we can all get along.
So you mentioned grandchildren and children. For the record, can you just clear the air?
Yes.
And tell everyone that I am your favorite grandchild ever. Just tell everyone. Just admit it.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to step back for this one.
Oh, shit.
I love all my grandchildren.
Oh, I lost.
I love all my grandchildren.
I had a bet.
But wait a minute. I'm not through.
Oh, let her speak. You might get back.
I'm not through. But what I love about you the most is I love your behavior and I love your progression in life. That's what I love about you.
Yep. Sounds like favorite to me. Love you too.
That was very sweet, Jarelli.
Jarelli.
I don't belong to you, Brian. Okay. I like it. What's next? Made my day.
Yeah, I love this interview. This interview was a real whew.
You feel good, yeah?
I feel great. No Dusse in my system.
Oh, wait. I have
real
one
good.
more question.
Yes.
This is like my last question. It's a music question. Because we always hear about, this large variety of music you had back in the day,
Yes.
the oldies and stuff. If you could pick one song that would be the soundtrack of your life, what song would that be?
The soundtrack of my life, old song.
Doesn't even have to be an old song, any song. But we just know that you have an extensive music knowledge.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what would really be a great song. Bees, I Was Here.
That's a pretty great song.
It's a good one.
Do you know that song, Brian?
Yes, I do. It's one of my favorites too.
It's a great song.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Well, that was it. That was nice.
Is that your go-to song? Like, say you were to, it might be the same question, different question, but if you had a go-to song, like this, I'm putting this on, what would it be?
That's a soundtrack.
I can tell you.
That's it?
No.
No, I'm saying, because that might have been like soundtrack of life, but I'm like, what's the go-to song I
It's
want?
Usher.
Is that right? Is he right?
Usher, Good Kisses. Anytime, so, the Carter Boys party started at Diamonds in the Rough, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I told you guys, everyone knows how I started DJing was at Diamonds in the Rough. And every time we have a party, I like to play all the ghetto stuff, all the ratchet stuff.
I've been told.
But it was always in some point, you could be playing a Migos song. Right after, you have to play Good Kisses. And her and all her friends dance, and you have to play it 5 times in a row. And they dance. The song is about 6 minutes long. So imagine them dancing for 6 minutes long.
But nobody
5
ever
times.
even just everybody just takes in. Everybody just takes in.
We mixed it up, because the thing that's great about Diamonds is that you bring older people and young people together, and they can actually enjoy being out
together.
Together
And the food is
the food is amazing.
It's also
Yes.
let's be honest. It also might be
amazing.
the stiff drinks your daughter is making too.
I
hear she has a heavy pour.
That's a combination. But just to bring young and old together and have them in the same house and they all enjoying themselves and having a good time.
It's like a family reunion every Friday.
So that's when you sit back, and that's where, going back to that dream part, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, you sit down and you look around together. And you be like, I did the right thing.
That's what it's about, just bringing people together and having a good time.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that hard, right?
Nah.
Cool.
It was a great interview, guys. I promise you it was a good interview.
Okay. So as I walk out the door, I need to say this. Smile.
Hey.
Hold on, we got to take photos. Good stuff.
It's a dark night, going down like it's fight night, the lights bright. Dusse, take 3 shots, make them do whatever you say. Friday. This ain't no way, Jose, we drink straight up, we don't need no OJ. Alright, okay, been waiting all week for that Dusse, don't play.